Hi everyone, this is Marianne and today I'm here to talk about how did I learn English. You might be surprised when you watch my video because you hear a slight or huge, I don't know, in your opinion, accent from France. I do think that I have a French accent. I do have a very weird French accent because I kind of learned English in Korea, in South Korea. I was living there, I moved there at 18 and I was living there until I was 28. I lived there for 10 years and to be honest, I did learn English in France because, you know, in France we do learn English in school. So I think from elementary school until high school, I did the curriculum, normal curriculum. I didn't have any foreign person in my life or in my school. I was a very boring French I mean, I was living in a very small city in France. It is called Blois and I was not even living in Blois. I was living in Chouzy-sur-Cisse, which is a very, very small village. And then I moved to Condé-sur-Beuvron, but that's also very small. So I am a countryside person, girl, and I went to school, high school in Blois, and yeah, at that time, like 20 years ago or like more than that. Anyway, at that time, nobody really spoke English apart from English teachers, and they have a very thick British accent. So I did learn British English when I was in France from elementary school to high school. English was my favorite subject at school. Any kind of language for me was my favorite, and I also liked art. So yeah, and I really dislike and hate mathematics and any kind of science like chemie, chemical, like, you know, those, anyway, those stuff. I always liked language and English is one of them. So I remember I was always top tier of my class in English and I thought it was fun to speak another language. And I did learn English just at school. I didn't watch any TV in English or in another language anyway. My family is French. We don't speak any other language in my family. I come from a very boring background, which is only like French. I mean, I do have a little bit of Belgian Belgian blood in me. But you know, Belgians speak mostly French, so yeah, I only speak French in my house. We have French TV, so I never really learned English other than at school. And I did learn English through music. I think it started very soon actually, because there was one boy band called Worlds Apart, and I don't even know, they're not American, I think they're British, but I was very tiny. I think I was 8 or something, or 6 maybe, when they started to be big in France, and I really, really loved them. And then Spice Girl entered my life, and then I think through music I really love that language. Until high school, I really think that I was more curious about Korea and other culture. At that time there was no subtitles, and you know, in France all the movies are dubbed. I mean, at that time they were all dubbed. Nowadays I think more and more people just watch the non-dub, you know, original movie, because it's so much better. But at that time everything was dubbed. So for me, Home Alone and, you know, 90s movies, I watch it in French, dubbed in French. Sorry. And then I moved to Korea, and all my friends going to Korea were other country people. So for example, I had a lot of Russian friends, a lot of Bulgarian, Kazakhstan, yeah, everywhere in the world I had like friends, because I had a scholarship for 5 years in Korea, and it's the Korean government scholarship. And so we were a group of students from all over the world. I was the only French, and so yeah, I was all the time with my Brazilian friend and my, I don't know, Russian friend and stuff. And so we were communicating in English, and I think that helped me a lot, and I think I learned the most of my English because of that, because I needed to communicate with them, and at that time I didn't speak Korean that much. So I think when I was in Korea, the first year and the second year when I was in Korea, I learned Korean language, yes, but I also learned a lot of English, you know. I practice every day, and I use it every day. So I think because of that, my English just was even better. So that, yeah, I used English during my school years, my college years, and then I use it because, you know, I find a job in Korea, so I was like just switching Korean and English. My Korean I guess is a little bit, it used to be better than my English, but now I feel like because it's been 3 years that I live in America, now my English is better than compared to my Korean. But when I was in Korea, my Korean language was better than my English. And then I met my husband and we got married, and I moved to LA 3 years ago. And I think the fact that I moved here and I do work here, I worked at a coffee shop, I did a lot of stuff, and that helped me a lot also, because I was very shy about my English, because of my English was not the perfect English that I wanted. I was very shy about everything. Like I was very shy, even going to the Starbucks and placing an order for me was very hard. But now I have no problem doing anything. I can call the bank, I can go, you know, to the supermarket, I can talk to people, having conversation with English people, like English speaking people and Americans. Sometimes I don't understand some accent, but you know, I think it's normal. And a lot of people see that I have an accent, and they always ask me, you know, where are you from? And they can hear that it's French, so they're always very happy, because you know, Americans love France and love French people. I mean, maybe not French people because they love France, but they think French people are very arrogant, which is kind of the case, but I'm not, so I'm the exception, I don't know. But I do think that French people are kind of arrogant and rude, but that's another thing. If you don't know the French culture. It's just normal to be kind of rude like that. Yeah, I don't know. I cannot find an excuse. It's kind of true, so what can I say? Now I feel comfortable speaking in English. I feel even confident speaking in English. I know that my English is not perfect, but still, and it's funny because there is a lot of French words that are the same in English, and I don't know why, but I think American people don't use that much of those words, and so when I use it or when a French person use it, it's just because we don't have the English root word, and then we use the French root word, and then it sounds, to American people, it sounds like very smart and intelligent and bright, you know, but it's just because we don't know the English version. Yeah, for example, when you, I don't know, there is a word that you don't know in a book, okay? And sometimes I try to ask my husband, because my husband is fluent in English. I mean, that's his second language, but still, he's been here since a long time, since he was in school and stuff. So I think he knows better. And so I ask him, sorry about that, I ask him about this thing, and I say, okay, what is the etymology of this word? And then he looked at me like, what the hell, wow, you're intelligent, you're smart. I'm like, what did I say? And he say, etymology, that's quite a word. And I'm like, but in France we just say it like this, you know, it's the meaning of. And maybe it sounds like very smart and stuff, but it's kind of not. It's just etymology, meaning of the thing. And because in my brain I was not thinking meaning of, you know, because it's kind of more simple in English when you say what is the meaning of, but instead of that I said etymology, and then I sounded very smart. But anyway, because in French the word etymology is very well known and we use it a lot. So yeah, anyway, I don't know if you get it, but anyway, French people, when they speak English, sometimes they sound very smart and they know the difficult word, but it's not because it's difficult, it's not because we're smart, it's just because it's French roots. There's so many, but that's another video. Anyway, that's how I learned English. I hope you enjoyed my video, and let me know if you are not native in English, how did you learn English? Let me know in the comment down below, and I see you in another video. Bye bye!